So compassion fatigue is it's an umbrella of symptoms that people who are professional caregivers can tend to struggle with. The most widely accepted definition in the field was coined by Dr. Charles Figley back in 1995. And there's pretty much two ingredients. It requires burnout plus secondary trauma. So it is a state of exhaustion and dysfunction biologically, psychologically, and socially as a result of prolonged exposure to compassion stress and everything that comes along with it. So it's a really fancy therapy way of saying if you fall into a caregiver category, if you are an educator, a physician, a nurse, a mental health professional, law enforcement, first responders, hospice worker, like those kinds of things, you are susceptible to developing symptoms of compassion fatigue as a result of the work that you do. But what oftentimes happens with folks in caregiving roles, and this is what I hear over and over again as I do presentations, is people tend to think that it's their fault, right? So if I'm working with a nurse and they're just feeling drained, they don't want to go into work anymore, maybe they don't have the empathy for their patients anymore, and they're just kind of looking at their patients and thinking to themselves, oh my goodness, I can't deal with this for the next 12 hours. A lot of times we turn inward and we're blaming ourselves. There's something wrong with me. I chose the wrong field. I'm failing. I spent all of this money to get into this career. And the truth is that when you're in those kinds of careers, it is not impossible that the work of caring is going to take its toll on you. But a lot of people aren't familiar with the term compassion fatigue. And so they tend to think, well, obviously I chose the wrong field. I wasted thousands of dollars getting this degree, and I need to, run off and be goofy on a Disney cruise and have that be my career. But the fact of the matter is that may not be the answer, right? If you aren't able to kind of take a look within and name what's going on and then get some help for what's going on, even if you change jobs, those symptoms are going to follow you into the next job. And oftentimes that's where folks tend to find me is, I switched hospitals or I switched schools, and yet I'm continuing to struggle with these things. So it's kind of an umbrella of symptoms that caregivers are susceptible to.